everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you a project or a collection of projects that I did for the gift-worthy StencilGirl creative team blog hop. Now, I do have a blog. I'm imagining that a lot of you who watch my videos on the regular don't visit my blog, but I do have one and I do occasionally write on it. And so if you would like to see the rest of the gift projects that were created by the creative team, please go over to my blog and I'll put a link down below. There's also links across the bottom of the video. And you can go and look at their blogs. I'm sure that some of them have videos as well, but I'm primarily a video person. So I have a few pictures and some explanation, but mostly really watching the video to me seems like a better instruction than a bunch of pictures and explanations. So I am starting with a journal, and I was thinking about a friend who has a birthday in October who likes to write and take notes and scribble and draw in a journal, a personal journal, and then she keeps them. It's kind of like a record of her life. Not an art journal per se, but she does doodle a little bit and things like that, but not like you see here on my channel. So her birthday's in October. I thought this would be a good gift to give her a nice journal. And I found this one. It has beautiful paper. It's well constructed and it's got a lot of pages. And it was on clearance in Walmart because the cover was dinged up and, it had stickers on it and stuff, which I had to peel off. Didn't look so nice. But for someone like me, that's irrelevant. I got the thing for really inexpensive and I can make it customized. I can make it beautiful by using StencilGirl stencils. So I measured the cover and then I got some 140-pound watercolor paper and cut it just slightly larger because I wanted to make sure that I could trim if like maybe one side of my stencil didn't look as good as the other side. I could trim a little bit off before I glued it on. And it was white and I wasn't sure what stencils I was going to use. And so I decided to start with kind of a watercolor effect as my first layer using some India ink. I like India ink because it can behave like a watercolor. It acts like a watercolor. It's fluid. It, reacts to water. But when it's dry, it's permanent, which is not the case with watercolor. And I knew I was going to put some more layers on this. I got to do some stenciling. I got to do maybe some pen work, I wasn't sure. So I got out the India ink and I'm just doing a real watery random effect. And I just picked 3 colors that I think coordinate well with each other and they're colors that my friend likes. So this is a very personalized gift. And I think that's the best kind. I mean, if, getting a gift that somebody specifically made for you is really the best kind of gift. So once that was all dry, and I did make an extra little strip there, and you'll see why when I get things done. I work on this little strip as well as the 2 covers, and it's just plain paper. It's not heavy paper. I got out the same colors of acrylic paints, or similar colors of acrylic paints, and I got out a couple stencils. And the first one, the 9x12, is, it's designed by Stegmiller. And what I didn't realize when I picked the 2 stencils is that they were both designed by Stegmiller, and they're both from a Stencil Club pack, which is SC-05-2016, which means they're an older set. Now, when you join Stencil Club, you pay a monthly fee, and then you get 3 stencils, a 9x12, a 6x6, and a 4x4 every month. You don't pick them. They're exclusive to the club. But another benefit to being in the club is that you can order past club stencils. So if you have a bunch of the stencils that you really want from past clubs, which was the case with me before I joined the club, you can always go back and order those. You also get a discount coupon as well as videos and a Facebook group where there's a lot of sharing and different things going on. And so these 2 stencils you're going to see me use are club stencils, which I just got. Just like I opened the pack and got them right out and used them. So I thought the style was very what my friend would like, and that's the reason that I picked them. So I'm using orange, purple, and teal again. That's the same kind of the same colors I use as the water in the watercolor India ink, and going through and just using cosmetic sponges to stencil in certain areas where certain shapes are. This stencil has some kind of four petal flowers, and then it has some that look kind of like tulips, and they're very whimsical and stylized. Then it has all these other little shapes that look kind of like pinwheels or oranges cut in half. And then there's some stems and some leaves. And so I was kind of directing my color to certain areas depending on the shapes. So I thought that looked pretty cool, but I thought it needed some more. So I got out the 6x6, which is coordinating with this one. It has some uh, some grid-like things at the bottom, and then some more tulip-ish or poppy-ish shapes at the top. And it goes with the other one really well. They go together really well. That's not surprising since they came in the same club. But boy, I didn't realize that till I went to look up the number of the stencil. And I was like, oh, this is a club set. No wonder. Duh. I felt really silly at that time. I thought she just had a style. I thought Stegmiller had a style. She probably does. Or he. I'm not actually sure. I don't know that person. So anyway, I came in with the white because my I did a three color combination and then two neutrals, black and white, which is a pretty common way of me picking colors as I go. So I'm putting kind of like Tetris shapes, random Tetris shapes in white all over, and I thought that looks pretty good. It's maybe a little bit crazy, but then I decided that what I was going to do, because this stencil is actually a mask technically, it it highlights or shows the reverse, the background. The background is what the stencil is. So it really makes it a mask. I decided I would go over the whole thing with black. Yeah. And I think the reason I did that is because the original book cover is black, and it just seemed like a journal should be mostly black with some bright colors. And I really like that. I think it really it just grabs your attention. So I'm glad that I did that. Even though most of the work I already did was kind of covered up, but it still shows through in all the lines and shapes. So yeah, that's how Mixpedia goes. You put layers on. So then I had some other little pieces that I had pulled out, and I decided I needed to make them black. There's a little die cut tag and a little kind of like a combination of a hole reinforcer and a fastener. But anyway, they're just made out of cardstock and they're die cut. I think I got them from Stampin' Up! A long, long time ago. So then I also needed something to cover the spine, and I decided to get out this corrugated paper. Um, it's colored green, but that doesn't matter because I have paint. And the original way the spine is, you can see where the signatures were stitched in, and then it's got a lot of glue on it. It's very well constructed, but it shows. And I thought, I don't want it. I don't want it to show. Plus, I also wanted to add ribbon bookmark. You know how sometimes a journal will come with a ribbon and you can pull it up and then put it down through the pages to mark a place. I just think that's kind of cool. So I wanted something that I could glue the ribbon into the spine with. So I painted that black, and then I wanted some shimmery stuff because my friend is she likes glittery, glammy stuff. So I got out these pens that I got recently. They are Deco glitter only pens, and um, I decided to trace around some of the shapes just on the front cover. I didn't think it was necessary to do it on the back cover. Nobody even looks at the back cover. And I just traced around. I started with the stencil, but then I kind of went freeform. Kind of went crazy after that. And traced around the tulip shapes with the purple glitter. You remember there is purple in there. And so, and I like purple. It's a great color. So purple glitter. Then I had another pin that came in the same set that's kind of a teal colored one. So I went over and traced around the stems and some of the leaves, and then the little stamen coming out of the top of the tulip or poppy. It might be a poppy now that I think about it. Anyway, it's some type of a cup-shaped flower that hummingbirds would like. I went over and traced some of those areas with the teal colored glitter. So I didn't go crazy with it. I didn't put glitter everywhere, completely cover it in glitter, just a few spots just to have a little bit of shimmer on there to make it more interesting. Then it was time to glue on the covers. So I measured again and then I trimmed really well. And then what I really want to talk about here is gluing. I like to use tacky glue when I make books. It's from Aleene's, and I think it's a really great glue to glue stuff together like this. But you need to make sure that the glue is evenly spread on there. You need to make sure that it goes all the way to the edges, because otherwise the edges is going to be lifted up on the book and then it will look really, well, tacky. So I always use my finger and I go and smear the glue all around, making sure it gets all to the corners and the edges, and every place is very smooth with lots of nice tacky glue. And then I put it on there and press it. And this is was the quick dry tacky glue, so it dries very quickly. Didn't have to put weights on it or anything. And of course that stock is fairly heavy. It's 140-pound watercolor paper, so it doesn't buckle or anything. Then the next thing that I did was glue in a couple ribbons. That's a grosgrain ribbon. There was a purple one and a black one. And then I'm going to glue on the corrugated spine, which I decorated a little bit with that glitter pin just on the raised up areas of the corrugated paper to make it look even more cool. So I let the spine lap over the front and back a little bit and then press it down really good to make sure that it's covering all that gluey stitched in area that was on the journal. So yeah, pretty happy with that. I decided to move on to my matching accessories set. And I have this pin that is called, it's a Pentel RSVP pin. And I use these to make matching pins for books because the barrel is clear and I can unscrew and then I can put paper down into it. This is the clicky kind. I used to be able to get the ones that have the lid, which are even a little bit better, but the clicky one works as well. So I measured and cut a little piece of that extra paper that I had been making all along, and then I roll it up around a skewer and put it inside the barrel, all rolled up, and then I just put the pin back together, and now that coordinating paper that matches is inside the pin, which makes the pin match the book. So yeah, that's just a little tip and trick you can do. I also have this little taggy thing that I'm planning on making into a paperclip style bookmark or, page marker or whatever on a paperclip. And I had pulled out a larger size paperclip from a set of colored ones, and it's purple, so therefore it coordinates because there's purple and there's purple glitter. So I put that same paper on the front from that same little piece. And then I glue that hole reinforcer fastener thing on there. And then I figure out how I'm going to put it on the paper clip, and I take some masking tape and just put a little piece of masking tape on there so that it will stay down while I'm trying to glue the other piece onto it on the back. And I cut another piece of that paper and then put that tacky glue on there and get it all nice and gluey. And then I press it down with a kind of wet baby wipe just to get that gluey paper down in between and all around the paper clip so that it stays on there well. Then I need a focal point for the front of the journal because the front and back are looking pretty much the same with the exception of a little bit of glitter. So I decided to use the 6x6, the SG-05-2016 club stencil. This is the one that came in that club with the 9x12 and also the 6x6 and also a 4x4, which I must have somewhere in my envelope. I didn't see it, but I go ahead and get another piece of watercolor paper and I stencil that on in black. And I realize that it's too long to fit the book. So I go ahead and trim it down to a better size. And that cuts off some of the edge, and of course it cuts off part of the flower. So I take my black Posca pen and I just cover up the lines that I don't want to be there, and then I use my white Posca pen to fix the border on that side because I wanted that white border around the edge, and of course cutting it off meant that I lost the border. So I just white Posca pen and black Posca penned it, and now it looks like it was supposed to be that way. And then I just cut the grid area at the bottom. I just cut so there's one row, and I made it a little bit irregular along the shape of the row of, well, that's now the dirt. It's the dirt. So I'm liking that. I think it looks pretty cool. But I decided I'm going to go ahead and add color because everything else on the book has so much color. Crazy amounts of color. Why would I leave it black and white? So I got distracted and I added one of the flowers to the paper clip before I added color. You know, these things happen. I just did that by tracing around the stencil with my white Posca pen. And then I end up adding some color to that too with the glitter pens later. But I thought maybe the design should be on there. It's kind of big. You can't really tell what it is so much, but it works. It's all good. I probably should have just left it. Anyway, back to what I was doing. I get out another water brush and these same colors of India ink, and I just add a watery wash of purple around the flowers, teal along the stems and the stamen, and then a little bit of orange at the bottom, and also orange dots on the tops of the stamen. And then it now will coordinate with the rest of the book. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on that notification bell and you can share this. And also, of course, if you'd like to see other ideas that are gift worthy using StencilGirl stencils, I suggest you pop over to my blog and check out all the links to all the other blog posts to see what other people made. I have no idea at this point because I just made mine, what they made, and I'm excited to see it. Of course, the holiday season is coming, and it's always good to make homemade gifts to give to your friends and family because the homemade gift is the one that means you care. And using a StencilGirl stencils is a great way to do it really quickly. And of course, doing something like this is inexpensive. I already had well, I bought the journal on clearance. I already had a paper clip. I already had a pen, and I already had the paper and the stencils. So yeah, paints, little paint stencils, always a good thing. So I finished up, I glued on the focal image, finished up with the glitter pins, and then I found some kind of copper colored, orangey colored glitter glue. I didn't have a pen, but I had the glitter glue, and I put that on to glitter up the orange areas of the focal image. And then I just got some different fibers and tied them around the pen, tied them around the top of the little paperclip bookmark, and then I added beads. I didn't film the whole bead adding process because that takes a bit. You know, the stuff doesn't want to go through the bead, and yeah, anyway. All I did was just add a few beads and then tie a knot so that they don't come off. And they look really cute. I think they look really cute. And they coordinate with the book. So that is it for me for the gift worthy Stencil Girl creative team blog hop. I will see you with another project on a different day. Thanks. Bye bye. Oh, and of course, here come your close ups. Bye bye.